You know, for the first time in more than 50 years, we're going back to the moon. But this time, it's not just about planting a flag. Today, we're going to dive deep into NASA's Artemis mission, look at the incredible journey, the huge risks, and really get to the heart of the one big question: why are we even going back?
So what you're looking at here, this really complex, loopy path, that's the flight plan for Artemis II. Think of it like a 10-day, half-a-million-mile shakedown cruise. It's basically the final exam, a super rigorous test flight that's designed to push the Orion spacecraft and its crew to their absolute limits before we even think about attempting another lunar landing. And really, that brings us to the core of it all, doesn't it? Are we just trying to relive the glory days of the Apollo missions? Or is this something else, something bigger? Is this maybe the start of humanity's next great chapter? That's what we're here to figure out. Okay, so before we get into all the nuts and bolts of the mission itself, we've got to tackle the elephant in the room. With all the problems we have right here on Earth, why in the world are we spending billions of dollars to go to space?
And look, that is a powerful and, frankly, unnecessary critique voiced right here by Oliver López-Corona. So many people feel that our focus, our money, our brain power, it should all be directed right here at home, fixing our own planet's crisis, not daydreaming about new ones. And you know what? It's an argument that you absolutely have to confront head on.
Well, the counter-argument is all about long-term survival. This whole idea of becoming a multiplanetary species, it's not about abandoning Earth, not at all. It's about creating a backup drive for humanity. It's an insurance policy against, well, anything. A giant asteroid, a supervolcano, or even something we do to ourselves that could end our story right here. So from that perspective, going to the stars isn't an escape, it's a responsibility.
So who are the 4 people that have been tasked with taking this incredible first step? Come on, let's meet the crew of Artemis II. Leading the whole mission is Commander Reed Wiseman. He's a former naval aviator, a veteran of the International Space Station. The man spent 165 days in orbit and was the chief of the astronaut office. He's got exactly the kind of deep, hands-on experience you need to command a historic flight like this. And in the pilot's seat, you've got Victor Glover. As a decorated test pilot who's already flown the Crew Dragon to the ISS, he has the razor-sharp skills needed for one of the mission's most important tests, actually taking manual control of the Orion spacecraft way out there in deep space. Next up is Mission Specialist Christina Cook, and she brings something incredible to the table: unparalleled long-duration spaceflight experience. Get this, she holds the record for the longest single spaceflight by a woman, at an amazing 328 days. She understands what future long missions will do to the human body and mind better than pretty much anyone.
And rounding out this incredible crew is Mission Specialist Jeremy Hansen from the Canadian Space Agency. He's a former fighter pilot, and his presence represents a really crucial international partnership. He's also about to become the first non-American ever to travel this deep into space.
So you've got this all-star crew, but what are they actually testing? See, this mission isn't about science. Not really. It's a critical test flight. Every single objective, from the life support systems to the navigation, all the way to the heat shield, it's all designed to prove one thing: that this machine can keep humans alive in deep space and, most importantly, bring them home safely.
So what do those 10 days actually look like? Well, the mission plan is this incredible dance of orbital mechanics, risk management, and just raw, unfiltered power. Okay, so it all kicks off with a launch and then a systems checkout in Earth's orbit. Then, on day 2, they hit the gas. That's the translunar injection burn that's going to fling them out of Earth's orbit and on a path towards the moon. They'll do a flyby on day 6, then it's a 4-day coast all the way back home, ending in a fiery re-entry and, hopefully, a safe splashdown.
This image just perfectly illustrates the first, and you could argue the most dangerous part of the whole trip. The first 8 minutes are basically a controlled explosion. You can see right here, at the 2-minute mark, the solid rocket boosters just peel away. Then, a little over 8 minutes in, that massive core stage cuts off and falls back to Earth, leaving the Orion spacecraft safely in orbit.
Yeah, just to get off the ground, the Space Launch System rocket generates more than 8.8 million pounds of thrust. To put that in perspective, that is more power than 160,000 Corvette engines all firing at the exact same time. It is, by a long shot, the most powerful rocket in the world today.
Now, during their flyby of the moon, the crew is going to travel more than 230,000 miles away from us. And in doing so, they will break the record set by the Apollo 13 crew for the farthest any human being has ever traveled from our home planet.
And if you're trying to wrap your head around that distance, NASA gives us this incredible way to picture it. At its closest point, the moon is going to fill their window looking about the size of a basketball that you're holding at arm's length. Meanwhile, Earth will have shrunk to a tiny, brilliant blue marble in the pitch-black void.
But, getting there is only half the battle. Coming home, that Orion capsule is going to slam into Earth's atmosphere at nearly 25,000 miles per hour. That friction is going to generate temperatures around 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit on the heat shield. That is hot enough to melt steel.
The final moments are just this perfectly choreographed sequence. After that intense heat of re-entry, a whole series of parachutes pop out. First, you have 2 drogue chutes to stabilize the capsule. They're followed by 3 enormous main parachutes that slow the whole thing down from over 300 miles an hour to a gentle 17 for a safe splashdown in the Pacific Ocean.
You see, a successful splashdown for Artemis II, that's not the end. It's really the beginning. It's the key that unlocks humanity's entire future beyond Earth's orbit.
Every single piece of data they get from this mission, from how the life support system performs to how well the heat shield holds up, it is absolutely essential for what comes next. Artemis III is going to land humans back on the moon, and the missions after that will help us build a permanent lunar base and develop the tech we need for the next, even bigger leap, sending the first humans to Mars.
Which brings us right back to where we started. All the way from the nitty-gritty engineering to the grand philosophical purpose. Is all of this risk, all of this expense, is it really worth it?
The great Carl Sagan, in his novel Contact, he posed what might be the single most important question for our time. We're living in what he called a technological adolescence, this crazy time where our power to create amazing things is matched only by our power to destroy everything. And just surviving that's the great test of our civilization.
So what's the answer? Is reaching for the stars just an expensive distraction from all the crises we're facing down here on Earth? Or is it the ultimate expression of life's deepest need to survive, to expand, and to carry that little spark of consciousness out into the great silent darkness? The Artemis II mission isn't going to decide that for us. That's a question we all have to answer for ourselves.